It's time for the Selectmen's update. This is the update from the Selectmen meeting that happened on August 3rd at the Ashland Town Hall. It was a very full meeting, a very long meeting, and had a lot of great discussion that we're going to share with you right now. So it started talking about some land takings for the West Union Sewer transmission lines. That's over by the MBTA road as part of our MassWorks grant and improving some of the sewage over on Route 135. We had to take some land, no real big process. The property owners were notified, and we will now be able to move forward with some of the sewage and the sewer connection and improvements on the pipes, changing different sizes and making sure the connections are good and we're not losing any water coming into the pipes or going out. We also voted to amend an underground storage tank. The Shell station, which is on Route 135 in Ashland, across from the Telecom building, is getting a complete overhaul. So sometime this fall, they're going to be tearing the building down. They're going to be upgrading and changing the tanks. So they're actually reducing the size of the tanks that are going to be there. So hopefully by spring, there will be another Dunkin' Donuts drive-through at that station and easier access to the pumps. So keep an eye out for that. If you like going to the Shell station, be aware that you're not going to have access for a few months. Our last appointment that we had on Wednesday night was a discussion with Hanto Restaurant. They have a limited entertainment license where they can have full bands on Saturday nights, and unfortunately they had a full band on a Friday night. So how they're being, they did stipulate that they did make the mistake. So what is happening is that they will lose the ability to have a band one Saturday in September and one Saturday in October. They can still have acoustic music, anything that doesn't have drums and a bass. So no problems with their business. They're doing very well. We just need to make sure they follow the licenses that they're granted. The other thing we talked about was the Stage 2 water restriction. It's been a very dry July. Water and rainfall has been down all across Massachusetts. So that has put us in a Stage 2 water restriction. The reservoir is fairly low. And it was also approved that there would be no more automatic sprinklers. So if you have a sprinkler that you have on a timer, that is not allowed at all. The only thing we can do now is hand watering. So pull out your hose and water your vegetables with a hose, or fill up a bucket and water it that way. There's also no topping off of pools, no washing of cars outside by just the citizens, and no decorative fountains or streams or anything like that that uses water unnecessarily. If you have your vegetable garden, please water that, keep those vegetables growing. But no extra watering otherwise. We also, the Selectmen, implemented a sewer moratorium. We've had a lot of building going on here in Ashland, and sewer has always been an issue. And when you look at your bill, you think, wow, it's going up and it's going up. Now you got to remember, when you look at that bill, only a portion of it is to carry the actual sewage. Part of that money also then goes to Framingham. So we're processing it, sending it, actually we're not processing it, we're taking the sewage, it goes through the pipes in Framingham, and it winds up in Deer Island. And we have to pay Framingham for that right to send our sewage. So that's part of why your bill is the way it is. And just like anything else, gas, food, electric, those costs do go up. So, but we have put a sewer moratorium in, and we will use this time to discuss what we as a town can do to try and keep some of our water in our basin. There's discussion about a wastewater sewage plant so that we can keep our own wastewater, process it, and keep the water within our basin, maybe get it back to our wells. What it means for most people is not too much, but if you're a developer looking to come into Ashland to build homes, right now that is not going to be available. If you have a single home that you're trying to improve and adding capacity, that's okay. But if you are looking to build a subdivision of 3 or more homes, you will not be given sewer access at this point. We are going to be looking at how we can revise or tweak the information and tweak the current language to see if we can allow businesses and how we would do that. We are expecting this moratorium to last probably about 1.5 years, at least till the end of 2017. It is coinciding with discussion about a vision for what Ashland wants to be that we have asked Mike Herbert, our town manager, to do. That comes straight from the Board of Selectmen. It's been something that we've been talking about for a while, about visioning what do we want Ashland to be? What do we want our town to look like in 5, 10, and 15 years? So by putting the sewer moratorium on, we're stopping some of the building and we're getting a chance to look at what we want Ashland to look like. We signed the warrants for the September 8th primary. There are 2 primary ballots out for September. There's the Republican ballot, there's the Democrat ballot, and you have a number of choices on the Democrat side, not as many on the Republican side. But whatever side you lean to, left or right or in the middle, please go out and vote. It's important that your voice get heard and that you become part of the process. We had a discussion about the state park. There's been some real heavy use at the state park, so we've talked about what we can do there, working with DCR, who manages it. We also had a small discussion about what we're going to do with the Girl Scout property. There's been interest in possibly making it a dog park, so pay attention to that if you're interested, because people say we have a dog park here in Ashland, but we don't. We have the Warren Conference Center that is now owned by Framingham State University, and we have the state park. Neither of them are really dog parks. It's just how people have been using the property. And because of some incidences that we've been having, that could change. So join the discussion about a possible dog park. We did a waiver for water restrictions for the fields at the high school, middle school, and at our other schools. We spent a lot of money as a town putting in great fields at our high school and at our middle school, and we do need to keep watering them to keep them healthy and safe and usable. And if you don't keep them watered and you don't keep them safe, it's a lot more money in the long term. So we approved that. We have approved some temporary handicap parking. On August 13th, the Dragonfly Festival will be coming to the Mill Pond area over at the Historical Society, that great big red building at the end of Myrtle Street, and some handicap parking was approved right in front of 21 Main, which is the new building going up that is residential and commercial. So hopefully you can make it to the Dragonfly Festival, and if you're handicapped, there'll be some parking right there. We also had an update on the Rail Transit District, and we'll show you and talk to you more about that when we talk about our Around the Town tour and we go to the Rail Transit District update that was had. We have approved some call firefighters that have been added, so welcome to Ashland to those. We have also appointed a new / return of our DPW director. Dave Manugian, who was our Public Works director for the last number of years, moved on back in July. And we are fortunate to be getting back Doug Small. If you've been in town for a long time, Doug was born and raised here in Ashland. He was our Public Works director. A number of years ago, decided to step out of the public sector and go to private sector, and he has been lured back. So we are very happy to welcome Doug Small. He'll be coming back in October as our Public Works director. We got a financial update. Things are wrapping up for fiscal year 2016, and we'll be having that information at our next meeting. Things are looking good. We also talked about doing a public health department accreditation, basically looking at the people who handle our public health issues, our health agent, our public nurse, our board of health, and getting them accredited so that they're at the levels nationally to be doing things that they need to be doing for Ashland. The other last update was from our town meeting, from our town manager regarding a strategic planning committee. Town manager, from the directive of the Board of Selectmen, is starting a visioning / strategic planning session project. We're looking for 20 to 25 people who might be interested, and we're looking for a broad spectrum of people. So if you've been in town a long time, if you've been in town a short time, if you've never volunteered for anything, or if you volunteer for a lot, we're looking for all aspects, different ages, different groups. So if you're interested, check it out on the Ashland Mass website. There'll be information there, as well as talent bank forms and Town Manager Mike Herbert looks to get those started in September. Okay, the last thing regarding the Board of Selectmen update is we did have an update from the Charter Review Committee. Roberta Suleman came before us, and they are asking for residents to go to the Ashland, Mass website, go to Charter Review, and answer their survey. They are looking for input on what you think works well for Ashland town government, what you think might need to be changed. Okay. And that was our meeting on August 3rd. We will be having another meeting on August 17th, but it'll be a short one, only 1 or 2 items. But this is it for Around the Clock for August, so we'll fill you in on that one when we come back in September. Okay, we'll be right back with more Around the Clock.